Fear doesn't announce itself. It just convinces you that where you are is safer than where you could be. You tell yourself you're being realistic, practical, responsible. But what you're really doing is choosing the familiar pain over the unknown possibility. And you've been doing it so long you've forgotten it's a choice. This is what fear does when it's smart. It doesn't show up as panic. It shows up as reason. It tells you that staying is logical, that leaving is reckless, that the life you have, even if it's killing you slowly, is better than the risk of something worse. So you stay. In the job that numbs you, in the relationship that stopped growing years ago, in the city that feels like a cage, in the version of yourself that you've outgrown but can't seem to let go of. And you call it stability. But stability is just another word for stuck, when nothing is actually holding you in place except your own grip. Here's what's happening in your brain. Change represents threat. Your nervous system doesn't distinguish between real danger and perceived danger. It just knows that the unknown activates the same neural pathways as physical harm. So it floods you with resistance, with doubt, with every worst-case scenario it can generate. Not because those outcomes are likely, because keeping you still is its job. And you listen, because the fear feels like information, like your body is telling you something important. And it is, but not what you think. It's not telling you that change is dangerous. It's telling you that you're about to do something your old self can't survive. And your old self is fighting to stay alive. That version of you has an identity, a routine, a set of beliefs about who you are and what you're capable of. And change threatens all of it, so it resists. It creates friction. It makes you feel like moving forward is betraying something fundamental. And in a way, it is. Because you can't become someone new without killing who you used to be. This is the part no one explains. Growth isn't addition, it's replacement. You don't just gain new skills or new perspectives. You lose old ones. You stop thinking in ways that used to make sense. You stop wanting things that used to matter. You stop recognizing the person you were. And that loss feels like death, because it is. Just not the kind you were taught to fear. So you negotiate. You tell yourself you'll change later, when you're more ready, when the timing is better, when you have more money, more support, more certainty. But those conditions never arrive, because they're not real milestones. They're just permission you're waiting for that you'll never give yourself. And while you wait, your life calcifies. Your world gets smaller. Not because you're weak, because you're comfortable. And comfort is the most dangerous cage because it doesn't feel like one. It feels like home. You know you need to leave. You've known for months, maybe years. But knowing and doing are separated by a gap that most people never cross. Because crossing it means admitting that the time you've already spent was the cost of a lesson, not an investment in something that's going to pay off if you just wait a little longer. That's the real fear. Not that change will fail, that it will succeed, that you'll look back and realize how much time you lost being afraid, how many versions of your life you walked past because you were too attached to the one that was slowly erasing you. Here's what you do. You stop waiting for permission. You stop waiting for certainty. You stop waiting for the fear to go away. Because it won't. Fear doesn't leave when you're ready. It leaves when you move anyway. You start small, not because small is safe, because small is honest. You change one thing, one routine, one belief, one boundary. You don't overhaul your life in a day. You just stop reinforcing the structure that's keeping you locked in place. You quit the job before you have the next one lined up. You end the relationship before you know what's next. You leave the city before you've mapped out the destination. Not because you're reckless, because you finally understood that the cost of staying is higher than the cost of leaving. And it will be uncomfortable. You'll feel unmoored, exposed, like you made a terrible mistake. That's not failure, that's withdrawal. You're detaching from an identity that your nervous system still thinks is you. And it's going to fight. It's going to whisper that you should go back, that you weren't built for this, that you're in over your head. You ignore it, not because it's wrong, because it's outdated. It's the voice of who you were, and who you were doesn't get a vote in who you're becoming. Some people will tell you you've changed. They'll say it like an accusation, like you've betrayed some unspoken contract to stay the same. And they're right. You have changed. That was the point. And their discomfort with it is information about them, not about you. The people who needed you to stay small will leave. And the people who can grow with you will stay. And the ones who stay won't feel like a compromise. They'll feel like proof that you were right to let the old version die. This is the truth about change. It doesn't get easier. You get stronger. The fear doesn't shrink. You just stop letting it make your decisions. You stop treating it like a signal to retreat and start treating it like confirmation that you're moving towards something that matters. You were never stuck because the door was locked. You were stuck because you kept pretending the door wasn't there. And now you see it, and you can't unsee it. And that means you have a choice. Keep lying to yourself about why you're staying. Or admit that the only thing holding you here is the part of you that's too afraid to find out who you'd be without this cage. Fear isn't the enemy. Obedience to it is. You already know what you need to do. You've known for a long time. The question isn't whether you're capable. The question is whether you're willing to stop being the person who wasn't. Change won't wait for you to be ready. It just waits for you to move.